a bit of a Nautilus here, I'll be honest. It still does its job very, very well, right? So, can't really complain. Talia first rotation means something like the Vi can be very, very easy follow-up, and then you've got a very strong and powerful lockdown in the 2v2. And if LNG do go to this Ari answer, I imagine it will just be Vi plus AD carry, right? And for the sake of stay, it can really be a very, interesting pool. Maybe they lean on something like the Jhin overall setup. Nautilus as well was hovered, right? So they might have been considering it. Either or, all of these answers, the end result is lockdown, 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 with a lot of single target burst damage in tow. LNG will definitely have to try and find some answers to it. There's the Nautilus, and I guess the question is it going to be the Vi, or is it going to be the AD carry to match up so that they don't have stage champion will be pinched out?
Maybe the Zin's out as well. Just going to throw that out there. But as you said, the Vi feels like a better option. However, for Heng, he has played this 13 times already. They're thinking about the stay option. So both are valid there, Jamada. Stay played a couple of games of Xayah, one of his most played so far in his short and split. As he locks that one in, we got a comfort for WE in game number 1. And we find out for LNG, now that they've been given jungle, do they just lock in the easy mid-jungle duo? Does WeiWei just pull out the Vi? It feels like that's the best option, right? Like Vi, Xin Zhao, whatever you want to take away, and then ban away the others.
Yeah, I think probably Xin here. Or you completely throw a spanner in the works.
Okay.
Go Volibear. So WeiWei now, what this really sets up to me in my mind is a lot more early dives, right? With matchups like Varus and Ari, specifically the bottom lane, 1-to-1, Varus should be gaining priority, and you're going to have counterpick support, right? As Hung. So that should be really easy setup. The mid lane priority is obviously going to be a bit wishy-washy, but as a mid laner, you always find the time at some point to rotate over to a side lane. So LNG, not only should they have the opportunity to look towards these bottom side dives because they should have a positive support matchup, they'll then also have R5, right? So LNG in a very, very good position at the minute as they do remove away that Vi. And I imagine it will just be Vi Xin Zhao. Poppy's already off the table, and as far as Hung is concerned, that has kind of been the trio of champions recently, so he's probably going to be relegated. Maokai, maybe a Jarvan. Like, it does feel a little bit rough from Hung's perspective at the minute as WE are going to answer out towards Zika's Kasante.
Mundo's open, by the way. So Hung has played that 3 times already. I must have missed those games because holy moly. That's new. Again, guys, I'm a guest coming through and I haven't seen all the games and I've missed the Mundo game. Actually, wait, no, that's a lie. I think I co-streamed one. I think I remember seeing one. So again, having that is just, again, as you said, there are more options on the board, but being limited here, maybe Hung goes for something like a Rel Jamada. Maybe that's like the next best option available. Does that do anything?
No, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see where Hung goes. I'm more surprised that WWE aren't trying to pinch out Hung's pool right now. Maybe they're just kind of accepting that no matter what, they're gonna have a bad time down there. No, they at the very least remove Renard, so they're definitely cognizant of the fact that they're gonna have a bad 2v2 on the bottom side, and maybe what this Renard spells is they're just gonna look at more dive in the draft options, right? Whatever they can find. But Hung certainly will still have positive champions to look towards in this 2v2. What will LNG do? It's Heimerdinger. So, I mean,
oh my
look,
God.
it's a little bit, I suppose, outdated, right? We don't see much Heimerdinger support these days, but we still know what it does, right? It's going to be prio. And of course, it's going to be excellent follow-up for the Volibear stun. You just get chain CC'd and immediately burst it out. So LNG, a lot of tools at their disposal. It'll be Jax up in the jungle for her. So that's where he decides to go in the end. Jace will end up in the top side, blind, and Zook has the opportunity to answer. Wukong. That's a really fun hover. I would love to see it get locked in for Zuka. I don't think he showed it so far this split, and of course it did get changes to make it a much stronger top laner. But we're just getting so
it ain't one day, yeah.
A little bit more standard to what we are familiar with from Zuka. And, I mean, hey, LNG across the board. 3 very strong lanes, an early game powerhouse jungler, decent scaling as well, 1-to-1. They're not necessarily going to get super outscaled, I don't feel like, in this game. They have answers to what WE also have, and W have answers to LNG, right? In terms of very reliable engage. Side lane threat is always going to be there with FoFo. Do have answers. It's just about how the execution falls through in my mind for LNG in this early game, right? How aggressive are they willing to get? Are they going to go to OMG levels of execution on some of those dives? in that first series of the day? That's really the major question. And can WE stave those guys off and actually look for potentially cross maps, maybe setting up Wayward to get really far ahead? Because if there's one thing LNG do lack, it's reliable engage. And if you can set up this Jace to be a complete monster, then that poke can really become an issue that LNG maybe can't deal with. And then that's where the engage of things like the Talia Wall and Norla start to really be a pain point for LNG.
Well, Wayward's been a lot better at the split, so again, there's reliability here coming from the man who's played the most uniques on WE so far. But there is a bit of fun story that needs to be brought up. The fact that Lwandy's going up against LNG when, was it last year he was in prison behind Luma? Was it the year before? I forget my years, but Lwandy, you know, previous LNG support, the Jana OTP once upon a time. He's already picked out his Camille support that we saw in the LEC yesterday, and that was fun. But let's be real, Lwandy going in for this bottom side. Is he going to be able to get revenge? Because the 2v2 to start off with is going to be rough. One of the best 2v2 lanes in League. Gala and Heng versus Stay and Lwandy. It's a playoff race. It's the last week, at least the penultimate week. But guys, there's only today, tomorrow, and then 3 days in week 9. Let's just call it what it is. 5 days remaining in the LPL. And playoffs on the line for the winner of this series. Let's see who takes it as WE's arena gets ready to roar. Where is it?
No way.
Hello?
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 Hello? No way. Did we miss the gyros? Did they just not gyro? No, this doesn't feel right. Can we get a redo?
No.
Can we get a redo? Where did they go? I'm just going to assume that they did them before we cut to it. And that's what I'm going to assume.
There's no... I've never heard a non-gyro, you know?
It doesn't feel right, does it?
Doesn't. A gyro. We can do like the LCK thing when they're doing remote.
Can we do it?
Yeah.
Like, WE, gyro, WE, gyro, LNG, gyro, LNG, gyro. All right, now that we've done that,
We had to
that
change the
truly
voice.
felt wrong.
Yeah.
My eyes are really just going to be peeled on the junglers here. All right, WeiWei starting on the top side. Volibear has a ridiculously fast clear in the early stage, and you might definitely notice the difference between WeiWei's clear speed and Heng. Bear in mind, I caught that correct as well. WeiWei also started solo, so that's going to be a very, very fun comparison. But he's pathing down towards his bottom side. He knows where his bread is buttered this game, I feel like.
Yeah.
And as for Heng, on the Jax, it's a lot more about, you know, finding the angles when lanes look set up for it, right? And I'm not sure how often those opportunities are going to be there. If I was playing through this Jax's POV, I would just try my best to stop my bottom lane from getting absolutely destroyed.
Sure.
It's 2v2 and then some of those dives, but we'll see exactly what his game plan is as the game progresses.
Well, big wave building up, as you said. When you butter your bread down on the bottom side, you definitely make sure you set the toaster up, and as the bread is about to pop out to get ready to gear up, Gala and Heng already, I mean, with that wave crashing in the range, is going to be huge. Now, top side for WE on the response is good for Wayward so far. Some pretty big trades as utilizes that range advantage, and for Zika, already a little bit behind in CS.
Yep, definitely going to be a bit of an annoyance from Zika's point of view. Just for the first couple of waves, right? Aatrox really kind of scales into this lane towards that level 5, level 6 mark, and that's where he finds a lot of pressure. Speaking on pressure, Scout eats a pretty meaty trade, but we'll be able to just walk that one off, look for a reset. FoFo is out of mana, so he's just going to probably try and clear this wave and then back out. And as I was talking about earlier, the jungle clear just a touch faster for WeiWei. Both junglers, though, on the skull on spawn. And it looks like it just could end up being a full reset. It doesn't look like there's a dive in the offing on the bottom side by any means, but maybe a dive on the top side if Wayward's got a little bit more mana to work with. Zika's definitely in a position where he can be worked on. Scout won't spot out FoFo, but of course Scout has already teleported in, so maybe a wave of priority to move towards on his end.
TP in response here from FoFo as well. Bot side, the camera pans away for a little bit after they push in the wave. Already picked up one plating, by the way, as you'd expect, as Ignite goes down onto Lwandy. He came into phase check, but the arrow's out, and Lwandy with Comet is dead. Oh. That's perfect. He thought he was fine to check, but Gala and Heng bait him in.
Yep. I mean, it's very, very easy for Heng and Gala. Once Lwandy's in, as Zika doesn't quite find that sweet spot on that Q3. But still, trade is good, and you'll kind of notice the thing about this matchup and why it's such an irritant for Jace inside the lane is a lot more to do with, like, hey, Jace tends to work really well at just kind of chipping down his opponent, but Aatrox's sustain kind of does just about outweigh it a little, as, yeah, Lwandy, yeah, just caught lacking a bit in it. There's not much to say. Comet, finishing touch. Is it Scorch? I think it's actually Scorch off the Comet, maybe. Really, really good. And feels nice about it. And LNG off on the right foot. That's where they want to be. WeiWei now as well. Should have this lane of priority on the bottom side. Eventually, I think this is a crash in, and then the bounce back will be there for LNG and Gala. So they can't quite start the dragon right now, as Gala needs to collect that wave. But give it about 30 seconds, and they'll be a little bit more free. Or they can just do it now and not give a monkeys. I'm not sure if they quite know where Heng is. Oh, they do. There's a ward on the grubs, so they know where Heng is. That's why they're starting Son up.
Oh, here we go. It's Heng versus Heng again. I just realized. Oh my god. I'm like, what are you talking about? The Heimerding at top. He's bloody bot.
This. Do you know what the best part about this is? I think in summer, we also cast LNG versus WE. Or wherever. Where was Jungler Heng? Was Jungler Heng also on WE last
yeah,
summer?
Heng was WE.
It was, right? Yeah. So it was just WLNG. So Heng versus Heng. Yeah. Truly our worst nightmare.
True. It's like Wei versus WeiWei all over again. Except at least like there's two of them, you know? Like you hear WeiWei, you're like, I know that's LNG's jungler. You hear Heng, you're like, Heng or Heng?
Heng or Heng?
Yeah. wait, what? Yeah, that's right. This zoning, by the way, in bot, more important because Gala and Heng are actually just sending the WE bottom lane off. WeiWei's down here as a level 6 volley too. I mean, this is free real estate.
Yeah, it is. And there's nothing staying Lwandy can do about it either. They didn't have Heng in their back pocket. God damn it. They didn't have Heng in their back pocket until just now. And the important point is that WeiWei already has level 6 for that 7-minute mark. So first use of the ultimate is going to be very, very important to track. Dives. I kind of treat Volleyball ultimate in a way, kind of like how the old rule of globals used to work, right? You would typically dictate how well like champions like Shen and Twisted Fate were going to do based on their first cast of the ultimate. I kind of see Volleyball like that to a point, just because of how long the cooldown used to be. Of course, buff this patch, but still lengthy. A little bit over 2 minutes, I think, at level 1. But for now, we'll just return to farming Dewey, and I imagine we'll continue to supplement that bottom side 2v2 on these clears, just going top to bottom, ensuring that he's staying ahead of the curve.
I mean, as you'd expect again, LNG playing to the strong side of the map. WeiWei is clearing top side for now, but it feels like the pathing naturally leads him down once again. As for WE, what are their options here? Well, it doesn't seem to be anything about top side because as the trading continues, oh, holy moly, never mind. Forget why did I talk about top side? Who cares, bro? Literally, Lwandy's out again. This bot is so doomed.
Yeah, 2v2, it's looking rough. And the problem is, to me, is that WE aren't really able to find other avenues to abuse, right? Like, topside is 1v1 in isolation, a losing matchup, and so far, Heng has not really found the window. Maybe they can find jungle picks like this, but at the end of the day, WeiWei is way too tanky. As well as just having things like Flash, the ultimate to get out of. And they lose the 2v2, they lose the 3v3 realistically as well. It's just rough across the board. Like, WE don't really have a way to play the game. I wish I could be a little bit more optimistic about it, but that just feels like the fact of the matter. They've rotated. I thought that was Stay and Lwandy in the mid lane, but Lwandy is just helping FoFo out to get a nice reset time up.
Bro, look at the wards, by the way. Like, LNG have lit at bot side. I mean, again, it's good control, and I think for LNG, they are a slower team. Like, watching LNG this split has been similar to what we've seen in previous splits as well. But they don't overforce the Zika onto Wayward. I mean, this could be dangerous. World Ender not going to be popped. Wayward's out with phase rush. The emote's out, and very, very well said by Wayward. as Zika is starting to win more and more.
Wayward's giggling. He giggled a little bit, I think. Judging by how he bobbled his head in the player cam, he's like, well, back to base I go. And yeah, this is just one of those pain points of the matchup. You know, Zika just has so much damage afforded to him just by nature of Aatrox and how he works in the early stages. And you can't be poked out, right? And that's kind of the threat of Jace is you kind of get poked down to maybe 60, 70%, and then you're always kind of just about in lethal range if you misstep, right? And Aatrox simply doesn't really operate under those parameters because he trades the health back.
True. As we gear up for grubs, just a quick note, Gala's moved towards mid. You can see the damage already onto someone like FoFo. I mean, I wonder if WeiWei respect this or they just try and get the grubs and get out as quickly as possible. And it seems like it's going to be the latter as WeiWei looks for engage off the back end, but 5 already picked up. You'd call that a minor win for WE as home now instead of getting the next one. He gets all 6. Okay. So there is something in this game for WE. There is side lane threat from the Jace that now gets boosted up a bit by those stats, but again, they've got to stop the bleeding. I think that's the main thing right now. Even with grubs achieved, that's nice, but it's going to be second dragon for LNG, and I think it's also going to be either mid or bot plate, so they give it over in the next 3.5 minutes. I
would absolutely love if WE just full sent it on the top side. There's on the way. Oh, thank God. There's a cross map. That's how I know I'm no longer in Europe. They need to just try and kill Zika and make sure that they can use these grubs to their advantage, right? The thing about grubs, they're an objective that is a win more objective. We kind of saw it actually in OMG series, right? They grabbed 6 grubs. They were so far ahead. That's why they were shredding all those structures. WE then not in a winning game state at all, so they need to try and force one side of the map at the very least to be, you know, kind of a winning state. Try and give some leeway, and even though you're getting, you know, cross-mapped in your own right, you're losing plates down here, maybe a tower. The point of the matter is you need to inject gold into yourself whilst gold is being taken on the other side of the map. Otherwise, you're just at a complete net loss without really gaining anything anywhere else.
Another reason you know you're not in the West is because the cross-map is actually respected too. Like, I mean, I guess the other thing is in Europe, if they don't do it anyway, that's why people just stay on the turrets because they're like, oh, they're not going to cross-map in the rare event that it happens. But yeah, I feel like, you know, here it's respected a lot more. Zika just backs away as FoFo not respecting here. Probably thought Scout went back to turret, but WeiWei, as he comes on in, is going to act as bait. He's got Stormbringer available. Charm just needs to connect. Depth Charge is there, and it does. It is a bait there, Jamada. And FoFo runs into it. WeiWei played it beautifully as Scout's going to get a double kill. And it was all because FoFo thought he went back to turret instead of being in the bush.
Yeah, wasn't expecting Scout at that angle, and WeiWei, you know, not enough damage between FoFo and this Nautilus at this stage in the game. Simply just tanks the combo, and WeiWei flashes on Talia's face, and Talia face plants into the wall with her flash as well. Easy pick, and LNG able to finally pick up that tower on the bottom side. 2 kills in the back pocket of Ari, as well as that 600 gold from that tower on the bottom side on that first tower bonus.
And everything else continues to go swimmingly for LNG in the early game. Look at this again, as you said, not enough damage here after the full rotation's out.
Yeah, and what feels really painful as well is that, you know, it's just the flash afterwards. Oh, he's never making it over that wall. Never. Not from there. Just overestimating where he is. And yeah, great acknowledgement from LNG that they know they stomped that 2v2. Even if it was Heng, right? The Jax Heng, not the other one.
Oh, sorry, yep.
Yeah, just in case you were confused, guys, of course. Even if it was the Jax, they still win that one out really well. So good job by them.
I think overall though, LNG should be happy with the way the game's going. I mean, 3k gold in the early game, and you've got Dragon stacking, but I think more importantly, you've now set up Scout, who heard me knocking on him before the game was going on about this split. Obviously set up for success here again, as Zika is just playing that said side lane once more. World popped up. This time he doesn't respect it because as Heng has to flash, the whole of LNG are coming in. It's the Goon Squad, and with the Charm connecting at melee range, Heng is just dead. Kill over to Zika too. And Wayward, look, caught out. He has no TP available. He's hoping like, oh yeah, I can back here, right? Charm, just in case he's in that push, but now spots him out. They know he's there. Peekaboo. Orb Deception max range. Another kill over to Zika. Both side lanes are giga-fed, and both bottom laners are in a good position too. This is all LNG's game all the time now.
Yep, 4k gold lead. Herald spawning up for them to take. Scout is on the bottom side with no teleport, but again, just look at the priority through the mid lane. Even if FoFo has first move through top, it's just one of those things where it doesn't really matter in this context, and Herald can get started up. Even if there is a contest, now I just feel like LNG are in such a commanding position. Items and all. It'll be very, very hard to win out on a fight right at this moment. It's Heng just playing complete nuisance. He's going to tank an Lawless ultimate. But again, look at his zone of control. All those turrets on the floor, he can never really be killed.
Heng just didn't want to go in on Heng either. I guess they just, you know, mutual respect there too. And as they hold the bar, Herald goes down in the meantime while that zone is continuing to be controlled. 4.5k, by the way, and Herald just dropped immediately. Like, this is okay. This is the go button, isn't it?
WeiWei got his driver's license, you know? So he's got that little bit of drift in him.
Oh, boom. Very nice indeed.
Tower number 1 crashed. Let's go top, actually.
Oh, yeah? Oh,
okay. Bot.
Go.
Okay.
Does he want to clear with it? Just like, as in go to blue buff? Or no, he's actually going bot?
No, he's going bot. Oh,
right.
it's... No, they're not even...
And minions. Oh, come on, brother.
But what it does do is it does put Herald in bot, and it, well, maybe Wayward does actually just get to clear out, but now it's just here.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's...
True.
And the problem now is that WE are on the top side, cross-mapping. Sure, they'll get this tower, but it's 1 HP. That was kind of a given. LNG have the opportunity to just rotate into the bottom tier 2, and they're pinging it as well, so they should be able to get a charge. Even though they don't have 6 grubs, they could actually just straight up take this tower because they've got the volley bear down here with the ultimate.
I mean, again, options. Like, where are the options here? And I know Jamada, again, like, we're kind of hoping that, you know, Stay might scale into it. FoFo starts using the ulti, but challenging any part of this map right now. Look how hard it is. Chains of Corruption flashed away from. Heng takes the gate to get here. Wayward gets poked out by the other one. And WE now threaten them off, but it's in front of Baron where, even though Chains of Corruption went down, like, there has to be a reset here from Wayward. He has to TP in.
Exactly. Maybe Heng can find some weird flank in, get the dragon. Okay, there's the weird flank. It's with the gate.
Heng is going to get zoned off, and Heng on top. Stretch line there, flash away, but they just jump on the jungle. Wow, the LNG turns great as Gala's like, okay guys, am I still attacking this or not? Spirit Rush for Scout is up and available as WE are now zoned off. Wayward on his own path. Zika here with flash available and World Ender. All he needs to do is hit something and eventually he will automatically, nope, never mind, ignore me. As Dragon goes back to being reset and WE lost their jungler, but they do have a health bar advantage, so Dragon stays kaput for now.
Yeah, Dragon is also just going to stop Heng's base for Hymaning up. But in the grand scheme of things, WeiWei, he gets his reset off. Should be able to make it to the Dragon if they want it. But this is kind of the power of the grubs there. They should get that mid lane tier 1.
Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Goodbye, Wayward.
Well
Goodbye,
done.
Wayward.
I mean, there you go. Now Dragon is absolutely guaranteed. 3 dragons, more gold. Like, dude, this LNG early game, I mean, this is the most... Again, it's not like I'm here every single day, but from what I've seen of LNG this split, this is definitely one of their more proactive games.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard some stories, mate, about LNG. And even watching some of the games I've been able to get my hands on for review. It's not looked good, bruv. It's not looked good. I can tell you that. But yeah, great position from LNG to immediately turn, find their mark. And yeah, Jack just, from the second he CC'd, doesn't get to control his character until death.
Yep.
Well played by LNG. They get that third dragon. Now Hex Soul super early on in the game. It really can just kind of make this a bit of a non-contestable for WE in terms of team fights. And doubly so if LNG can find themselves getting a Baron, it just goes from bad to worse.
Flash, everything used. Kitchen sink, Weaver's wall as well. Zika's going to get poked out as 4 members are down here. There's a response from LNG, maybe not expecting it. World into their depth charge as well. They've used a lot of ulti for this. They need the kill. Heng jumps on and they get a shutdown. It's a good move from WE, getting objective bounty as well. First kill of the game. Scout is the only person on the other side of the map to find something for now, but hey, you definitely take that as WE.
Yeah, definitely do, and it's about time, right? We finally see a bit of an attempt at a cross-map play, and look at how quickly this tower's being moved. Not only because it's 3 champions, but the grubs as well, just adding salt in the wound. So really good stuff from WE to find some of this gold back, and they have closed up that gap.
Oh, dude,
bit.
the TP is on top of the Hex Gate. Spirit Rush Charm, and Scout's there waiting, and he can get back over the wall to follow Heng. He flashes as well, and waiting for the next charm of the Orb of Deception. Heng flashes out to get out as TP from LNG also being burned a second time. And Zika this time, as Lwandy is just caught out. Somehow Wayward just got back. He backed in the middle of the lane. I guess they weren't there yet. And as Lwandy tries to waste time, I mean, this is still an LNG kill, but I am still typing worth in all chat, Jamada, because that play got 2 objective bounties, got a kill, and I mean, LNG lost a lot of momentum as Baron spawns.
Nah.
They're all down here. The Volleybear's backing. Oh my god, WE are going to win this game, aren't they? WE are going to win this game.
Nah, it's cool. Gala will steal it.
He won't, will he?
No, he won't.
Dude, they just got Baron. WE are in gold. WE are 700 away in gold. This was a 4 or 5k gold lead. Spirit Rush again. Okay, it journeys in, but Baron enhanced recalls. LNG, their heads are in their hands. Like, what the hell? They just got so much objective bounty.
It's like I never left. It's like I never left. I love this region, man. I mean, look, credit to WE. I'm a bit dumbfounded because of how much control LNG had throughout this early game, and it's by design, I feel like, of the draft as well. But WE find their window, right? They make that cross-map work. They kind of acknowledge in that previous sequence that LNG were going to probably open out onto the map top. They've got grubs, they cross-map, they kill Zika, everything looks great. They kind of get punished for overextending a little bit, but because LNG takes so long to make that punish work, WE are out on the map in time to get the Baron. It's so... I mean, again, credits WE. They just read the map really, really well. And now they've gone from, what was it, 4,000 gold down to just about even Stevens as far as the game state is almost concerned. A couple of differences here and there. But one thing that I would really like to know is Wayward, 2.5 items. A little bit of lethality starting to come in now. And to me, he's the one with his poke that will really make the difference in making LNG's life a bit more miserable. And there you go, half HP onto Gala straight off the rip.
It hurts. I mean, it really does. It's crazy again. How WE have clawed their way back into this game. Again, really good map movements. LNG caught unaware, no response. You know, we like talking about counterplays on the other side of the map. Well, ignore that for now. Stormbringer as Lwandy tries to run it on in. WeiWei has to flash out as he almost throws himself, but the Heng absorbing the damage is fine for now. Wayward way out damage. As LNG do find the pick, they stop the aggression through mid, but because of the range here, Jamada, they're quite confident as Wayward maybe shouldn't be. Who can throw more? Right now in the fight, it seems to be WE who can't take the 5v5. Scout almost getting caught out. The charm, I don't know what the adept was, but Gala shuts me up again. A double already picked up, and just as we're praising WE, they overstay mid, they get caught out, and LNG, with tools of their own, move back into the lead.
My region, my region, my region. LNG should be able to pick up the Hex Soul off this as well. They're going to take a couple of resets, maybe. Some members here. And Scout has teleport, so he can be afforded that. I wonder. It's just like kind of back-to-back WE members. First charm connects on to Lwandy. Great stuff from Scout. Why is Lwandy so far up without a wave there? And then Wayward just kind of loses his head a bit. Like, you just saw, like, your support's body is on that. You can see the... Yeah. Very, very, very silly.
Control ward.
Very, very silly. Yeah, from this point on, Arrow. Good job, Gala. And if they wanted more chase down, they probably could have gone all the way. But they know to just kind of hold their breath. Pick up that Hex Soul. And now, even though, yes, a bit of a macro blunder on LNG's part to give up the Baron in the first place. Baron spawns in less than 3 minutes.
Wayward's dead.
Wayward is very scared.
They got Soul, by the way, because of that play. So LNG have a lot of stats bonus. Charm doesn't need to connect. I guess Scout is doing a lot better this game than we've seen in previous, but let's be real. I mean, for LNG, giving away back into this game after, again, their blunders. So it's who can blunder the most, Jamada. That's what we're looking for. And right now,
it's a game of catch.
Well, WE, right now, they are throwing the ball. It's a 3k gold lead again, and Elder's going to be up in 5 minutes. But I mentioned that because of the Soul point I just brought up, considering that Soul is going to tag down and be a nuisance for WE when they're trying to run away next time.
Exactly. And it's one of those things where like LNG in the middle of when their CC is on downtime, that Hex Soul potentially providing that little bit of extra slow is just going to be so critical to ensure they stay in range. As a Heng, they know he's there.
And Gala, why is Gala isolated? He's by himself, flashes
Oh,
away, but he's
oh,
shoved.
no.
Gala's dead. Heng gets a kill. It will be a trade, but Heng flashes away. It's matched by Zika. He needs one more hit to get through. His Counter-Strike saves his life at least for a little bit longer. Now for Stay and FoFo, they're getting charged on, and Scout tries to bring it back. I mean, it's weird to say at this split, but Scout is the saving grace, really. One more auto secures it. I mean, he's so fed. And even though this game of catch keeps going on, I mean, LNG right now, I think they got some Major League Baseball players because they are still smashing it out of the park.
Yeah, exactly. Really well played by LNG, even though Gala kind of got dunked on a bit by FoFo. Doesn't matter in the end, as LNG just pick everything back up, all the pieces. So Baron now 6 seconds away. They can just secure priority, easy as you like, and then look to make WE's life completely miserable as they try to approach the Baron, as we get a replay. And I'm not sure if it was fully a prediction on FoFo's part. The replay, yeah, it was. Wow. FoFo. And Gala just straight up flashes into it. Not much else he can really do at that point, as Heng tries to delay the inevitable as much as he can. Isn't able to, and then like you mentioned, Scout also stays ultimate. Able to run down FoFo. On the bright side, I feel like everyone's ultimate should be back up for the Baron from the perspective of WE, but it's still going to be a bit of an uphill battle for the most part.
For who? For who?
Well, that's the true question. Oh, no.
That hurts. Okay. Wait, why is Stay there? He black. What? Why was Stay front? What? Lwandy's almost dead. I mean, WE, what are you doing? What are you doing? WE just decided to like, walk away. Baron just spawned. We have River, but we're just going to move to mid, which we already know LNG are running down because they just cleared the wave.
Oh, Gala.
FoFo doing good damage. Gala's dead. I mean, both of these teams, are they round 1 Andes in playoffs? That's the question I now pose to you. Yes. I don't know. Because what the hell?
It's all good, Jake. It's all good. At the end of the day, it's high-level gaming. LNG, they're not really worried about Wayward's poke if it's hitting the front line, I guess. They can burn this one down. Heimerdinger is doing a lot of work as well. And Scout, he's just pushing them out. So, WE, Hung's not even going to get a look in.
Okay, nice jump. This time it does connect. Scout gets a reset on this as well. Baron's gone. I mean, WE, like, if they didn't run down mid before, there's a lot of plays for WE. LNG gave them back the game. They made such a good macro move down bot side Jamada. There was no trade. The gold was back in. WE looked like, hey, they might actually win this game, and they probably should have after that. But then the move mid from Wayward, from Lwandy, like, bro. God.
My region, my region, my region, my region. I mean, look, it's just a bit questionable from WE trying to enter into the mid lane through that avenue. And LNG happily walk up, murder their targets. Gala, I'm more curious about how Gala ends up. I guess Hung's in a really, like, interesting position, trying to kind of find that flank behind the rest of LNG, and that's how him and Wayward are able to collapse on Gala at the end of the day. As, FoFo a little bit too isolated. I mean, the thing for me, I feel like, is WE, even when they had that Baron, you know, overextending in the mid lane, they just weren't able to try and allow Wayward to set up for poke, and then, you know, then you try to wall people off, send out a Lawless ultimate for a little bit more additional pressure. And LNG continue to just push the envelope at every opportunity they can on any play. They break open the base now of WE, and they've got that one structure, tier 2, in the mid lane to work with. They can push that one down, but again, their attention's being split. 3 members on the bottom side. WE, it's the world's longest flank, but the problem is Heng just got spotted by, I think, a Heimerdinger turret. So
I think he did, yeah.
He's not doing anything with that flank.
So, a CP comes through, that's Scout. I mean, I'm just waiting because Elder's up. Heng, they know, is somewhere back here. WE get priority mid as Scout now looks for an angle, but the level 17 Ari might have to burn the ult before the fight. I mean, there's no damage there actually from Wayward.
Nope. The thing. Oh, Wayward.
Oh, he's dead. He's dead. Stormbringer comes down. Wayward knocked up, and that's an easy kill. Heng gets on the backline, though, onto Gala. Look at LNG's AD carry. Never mind.
Nope.
No one from WE is there. FoFo tried to build a wall, but much like politics, you can't get that one through Parliament. LNG, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to run through base, and now with big death timers, this one's just over. You don't even need the Elder.
Nope. Don't even. LNG, after a strange mid-game, a 23-3 kill game, may I add. Top of our screen. 24. What a strange game. But LNG won't mind it. They'll go well up in the series.
Oh my god. What's
That was an experience. That's what it was, Jake. Find some optimism, you know?
I mean,
like,
I try. But, like, when you, I mean, dude, I've been very tempered in the LEC. I think if I called out every throw in the game in the LEC, I'd probably be upset with a lot of games. So, but here, you know, LPL is the elitist squad, right? And when you see games like that, you go, could have been better, could have been cleaner. I mean, props to WE for the, again, you use a blank word of macro play. Like, I think they really use tempo well. But yeah, a lot of throwing. Jamada, we'll go to a break. I won't need you to explain it till we come back, because LNG are one step away from playoffs after this.